Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another first impressions video, and today we're going to be taking an early look at Quantum Rush. Now Quantum Rush is a game currently in development by Game Art Studio, and it is a game that is basically a futuristic racer. Now before we actually get into the game, let me just tell you guys, this is an early alpha build, so keep that in mind as you make your comments or criticize on what the video game is or is going to be, or just whatever, okay? Better than mine, early alpha content, don't expect the game to look perfect. Anyways, this is a futuristic racer, as I've mentioned. It seems to be very much inspired in Wipeout, not in terms of its art style, but just in terms of its gameplay mechanics. Now, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Wipeout. I mean, it is one of the reasons why I bought a PlayStation over an Xbox on the previous generation, and it is a title that is very near and dear to my heart. So obviously this particular title here, Quantum Rush, has, for starters, it has some pretty big shoes to fill, and it is also a title that I want to get involved in and check out as much as I possibly can, because like I said, I'm kind of passionate about this style of futuristic racer. I was also always a big fan of another title which was called High Octane. I'm not sure how many people actually know this title. It is a really old title from, I believe, Bullfrog Entertainment. I don't know, but I'm just throwing names at Quantum Rush at this point, and maybe I'm being a little bit unfair here. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this kind of, like, you know, anti-gravity racing type of deal. So before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of things, let's just take one of these ships and take it across a couple of laps in practice mode. Practice mode is just a mode that allows you to get on the track and just test it out and have some fun with it. And we're going to be going just to the Canyon racetrack. There's currently 3 tracks available, as you can see here: Canyon, Airport, and Coastal. We will see if we can actually race against other players, because currently in the game, as far as I can tell, there is no way to race against NPCs, which is a shame, because to be honest, I like racing against NPCs, because particularly in this title it would be cool because there's not as many players playing all the time. Like, for instance, the couple of times that I've tried recording a video, this is going to be like the 3rd or 4th time, because I just get to a point where there's nobody playing. However, this time I've decided if there's nobody playing, I'll just explain what the game is like through the practice mode. But let's get started in a couple of laps here in practice mode, so that I can tell you guys about the gameplay mechanics and whatnot. So before we begin, I'm using a controller. As you guys know, I use my PlayStation 3 controller, which is being emulated as an Xbox 360 controller on PC, just so that it uses X input and all that other kinds of good stuff, because the game comes mapped to work with Xbox 360 controllers, since those are pretty much the standard that is used in the PC industry. Now then, as you guys can see, this is the type of gameplay that you can expect. The animations are still not 100% perfect. I mean, at least not in my opinion. I want to see a little bit, maybe more camera turning. You guys know what I'm talking about. I want to see some more flair and whatnot. I realize that some players don't like that kind of stuff, but I do. Now, this is something that I really liked. The magnetic walls and stuff like that, I am totally into that kind of stuff. Now, in the same vein as Wipeout, this game also uses air brakes, which in this case are used by your L2 and R2 buttons, or if you're using an Xbox gamepad, it is going to be your left and right trigger. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Wipeout mechanics and games of the like, basically your ship has air brakes. And how do air brakes work? Well, basically you want to brake in the direction that you want to turn, and that will make your ship, instead of just flat out braking, it's going to give your ship greater, how should I put this? It's going to make you turn more, let's put it like that. As you guys can see, like for instance, right now, if you notice, I'm braking to the right. So the ship turns more to the right, and that allows you to get more maneuverability out of your ship. Same thing if you want to do it on the left side. You got to be careful, because these magnetic things, obviously beta is beta, and every now and then you will get blown off those magnetic rails. But it is pretty cool. We got a couple of boost pads. You guys could see some of the power-ups in the track as well. And these power-ups unfortunately aren't available during practice mode. You can only access these while you're actually racing against other players, which is why I've mentioned they really should allow you to just race against a couple of NPCs, but they probably haven't developed the AI, I'm going to assume. Not 100% sure if that is the case or not, but I'm going to assume that they haven't really developed the AI yet of the computer, which is why they're not allowing you to race against computers. So as you can see, that is pretty much what a track looks like. Although, to be honest, I finished that track so fast that I didn't get to tell you about all the mechanics in game. So you guys have seen the very basic mechanics. You've seen me do a little bit of air braking. Now let's talk about other features that this game has. I'm going to go into practice mode once more. We're going to switch things up. We're going to go to the coastal track this time around. And let's switch the ship for Nitro. There. That way we see another ship, another track, and I can talk a little bit more about a couple of more mechanics. Now, one of the things that I haven't done is I actually haven't played against other players yet because there's not a whole lot of people playing the game at this point. So unfortunately, sometimes queuing up for matches takes quite a bit. However, despite the fact that I haven't played against other players, I believe that I kind of know how to use the power-ups because I've pretty much tested all the buttons that my controller has. So I'm thinking that using power-ups is probably going to be the left shoulder button or L1. However, other things that you can do with your ship, if you guys notice on the upper left corner, you will see a bar, which that is a heat meter. So if you do certain activities, like for instance, right now I'm going to boost, you will notice that the heat meter starts filling up. If your heat meter, oh wow, you connect, oh sweet, sweet roll cage style. Oh man, I love that. I hadn't played this track before. I really, really love that. I love that. I love this touch. That is very, very good job, Game Art Studios. I love that touch right there. Anyways, as I was saying, if you overheat your ship by just, using the boost or whatever, you're going to have to wait until it cools down before you can use it again. And obviously the cooldown period is going to somewhat penalize you a little bit. Oh wow, what the hell? Also, the other thing is you can also shoot other ships despite not having any power-ups right here. You have some kind of a machine gun thing that you can shoot. However, as you can see, that also generates heat, so you need to manage that. Also, if you look at the upper right corner, there is an energy bar, an energy gauge even. And as you consume the boost ability that I told you about, this is by pressing, I believe, it's going to be X on the Xbox 360 gamepad, and it's going to be square on the PlayStation 3 one. But when you press that, basically you consume that energy. If you consume all of it, you're not going to be able to use this thing. However, I believe that there's a couple of sections in each track that allow you to refill that energy bar a little bit. I'm going to try and see if I can nail that particular pad right now. It's usually near, at least in the other tracks, it was near the finish line there, but I can't find it on this track. But I've seen that in other tracks, there's some kind of a pad that you can go on top of, and that is going to recuperate some of your energy. Maybe this track doesn't have it. I am not entirely sure. But obviously, that is something that you need to keep in mind as you go through each of these tracks. You want to make sure that you manage your energy properly and use your boost, which could be akin to a nitrous boost. You want to use that responsibly to make sure that you get the maximum benefit from it. Oh, I really like this. Like, this might not be a big deal for you guys, but like, this incorporates elements from two games that I really, really enjoyed. Those games being Wipeout and Roll Cage. I love Roll Cage, and Roll Cage did just this. Like, you would be able to go sometimes on tunnels and stuff like that, and you'd be able to fly upside down. And I think that, not fly, but drive a car upside down. And I think that's awesome. I think that's a really nice touch. Then again, it could be just me being a fanboy of this type of game, so don't take my word for it because I'm clearly a little bit biased when it comes to these types of titles. Oh wow, that was a nice little boost pad there. Oh, there's boats in the way and stuff. I like this track. This track is actually really fun. I hadn't flown this track yet, so it's actually interesting for me. But yeah, this is pretty much the game in a nutshell. Currently, it is still in development. There's going to be a link in the description below where you guys can check out the development of the game. I believe that this game is going to be free to play. However, don't quote me on that because I haven't had a lot of sleep and I might be confusing things, but I do believe this title is going to be free to play, particularly because I'm going to show you guys a couple of options that the game has, and those are usually akin to free to play titles. So we finished another race. Now, in terms of graphical detail, as you can see here, it is clearly not the best. I'm not sure if they plan on on, you know, improving the quality of the textures and whatnot. Also, I'm not running everything on max because I tried running everything on max and clearly the game wasn't properly optimized yet to run with everything on max, because my computer should be able to run this game no problem, but if I put everything, like all the graphical settings, maxed out, it actually stutters and does weird things. So I don't want to fool around with that too much. I just want to make sure that you guys can see, you know, a more stable vision of the game, because obviously when developers give us access to alpha titles, we don't want to emphasize, you know, the negative bugs that show up, because it just doesn't make any sense, because the game is an alpha, and obviously we're going to assume that stuff like that is going to get fixed. If stuff like that does get passed on to the final product, that could be a problem, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Anyways, there's going to be a research thing here that is going to allow you to research different ships. At least that's what it seems like. This stuff seems to be still in development. It seems like a very this almost seems like a tech tree. So I'm not exactly sure what this research thing is. It doesn't, not even sure if this is working yet or not, so don't know. But anyways, we got research for all these ships. Nitro 1, 2, 3, 4. We also got for the Ion as well as the Nano, which is, wow, look at that. Jesus Christ, how can you even get those racers though? Like, those racers look really good. This is a racer, so you can select your ships here. Like, as you can see, this switches. You can also customize them. I saw that there was some way of customizing them. Let me see if I can find out how. Is this it? No, this is the statistics. So this is not it. Also, currently it is not, something that I would like to leave as a suggestion for the developers. Since this game is really more akin to, at least in my opinion, more akin to being played with a controller, you should really enable all your menus to be accessed with a controller, which currently is not the case. So it's like I'm using the controller to race the tracks, but I can't use my controller to actually navigate the menus because it doesn't work properly. So I don't know what's up with that. But let's get into the racer here. I was pretty sure that there was some way of customizing it. What's this? Configuration pages. Oh, you can actually configure the kind of energy and stuff, I guess. You can buy racer slots, garage slots, I mean. Apparently I have 100 of whatever the premium currency of the game is in my current account. I could swear that there was something that we can do to research these ships. But honestly, like I said, I don't know how research works. But there was also something else, that I found in the game previously, the first time that I ran it, that you could actually go into the racer and you... Ah, here it is. Configure racer. Sorry. The UI is not, like, totally intuitive. I just totally missed that a whole bunch of times. Maybe it was my bad. Sorry about that. Either way, you can turn it around, have a look at it from all angles, and then you can paint it if you want. However, colors cost you currency, in-game currency, which is why I'm saying that this is most likely going to be a free-to-play title. And you can preview. I think you can... No, you actually can't preview, but I mean, that's something they gotta work on. They gotta work on you being able to... Oh, actually, you can preview the changes. Look at that. I'm just an idiot, and I totally missed that. But yeah, you can preview the changes of what's going to happen to your ship. Like if you select this color, or then you go to color 1. What's color 2? You go to color 2. Oh, the color 2 is actually the ship hull and whatnot. Oh, that actually looks kind of cool if you do it in red and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, obviously you can customize colors. Each color will have different prices. It was weird because some of these colors actually had some really, really expensive prices, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like for instance, what was it? Here. For whatever reason, this color costs 1,000. Oh no, but wait, this is 1,000 credits, so this is a color that is accessible to everyone. Ah, okay, I get it now. I get it now. Okay. There's also going to be skins that you can probably get. Those are not all available yet. And on top of that, you can also configure your racer, like the type of engine that you want. You're going to be able to configure individual parts, like the type of cooling that you want for your flyer, as well as shield, armor, and obviously most likely, I'm going to assume you have to win races against opponents in order to get these parts. And once you get, in order to get the currency, And once you get the currency, you can then like unlock stuff. Like for instance, I can go over here. It ties you into the research as well. So each part you will have to research it by using currency or something like that. Yeah, you'll have to use it. You have to unlock it by using research points. Yeah, I think you guys can see where this is going to get. Now, something definitely needs to be improved in this UI because it just feels very confusing right now. But I think you guys can get the feel of it, so to speak. So what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to be switching ships to the Nano. And let's see if we can actually get into a race against other players. Now, there's two types of races. Speed race is only about racing and there's no pickups and manufacturer perks. I'm not exactly sure what manufacturer perks are, but I'm going to assume that, for instance, the machine gun is probably going to be disabled, the little laser things that I showed you on the previous one. And the death race is the normal one that I like, where you pick up the power-ups and whatnot and use weapons and try to kill people and whatnot. So we're going to go into a random track. Looks like we got a match starting in 11 seconds. So let's just get to it and see how well we do. Now just bear in mind, this is going to be my very first match against actual players. So I'm probably going to fail terribly, but I guess that's kind of to be expected. While you're loading the match, it actually allows you to see what everyone else is piloting, or at least I thought it did. Yeah, it does. It's kind of laggy still, probably a feature that's still being worked on, so bear that in mind. But you can kind of look at what other players are flying, which is cool. You can also see that this guy bought the red color and maybe even a black color for his ship. You can also see that some players are actually running some already decked out ships and stuff because they've been, I'm going to assume, getting some of the currency and already upgrading their vehicles and stuff. I'm not sure if there's going to be a reset at this point or not. We shall see. But for starters, I have to admit, it is shaping up to be a decent game. It hasn't really grabbed me yet because, I mean, a lot of the features aren't really properly implemented yet. I really want to see a little bit of an improvement in terms of textures, even though textures are maybe not the most important thing about a title like this, because let's face it, when you're going, as the title is saying, like 800 kilometers an hour, texture quality is not going to be the biggest thing. But I want to have a little bit more detail. I also like having the trails, like the ship trails and stuff like that. I want to get more of that speed sensation, maybe even get some motion blur in that. And I realize some people are not into the whole motion blur thing, but okay, so it looks like I picked up a shield. Yeah, just like I thought. I can also start shooting people now. Oh, I'm almost at full blown over there in the heat department. As you can see, it is a little bit, how should I put this? It is a little bit stuttery, so they probably still need to work a little bit on optimizing the engine and maybe even optimizing their netcode, because my internet should be working flawlessly at this point. What place am I in? I am in 5th out of 7. Oh wow, there's someone shooting at me. Just shoot at me, you bastard! How dare you! Wow, there is no way I'm catching up to these guys. What the hell? I don't remember doing this. By the way, I'm going to be going upside down because why the hell not? Seems like a good idea. Oh, here's the energy regeneration thingy. As you can see, that recovers your energy as long as you're on top of this thing, which means that now I can boost again. So this track actually has multiple circuits, because I don't remember entering here last time. I just kind of followed people into this tunnel this time around. Okay, that was pretty sweet. Now the issue is that these ships are like really getting ahead of me. Like I'm not even competing at this point. It seems like one of the players has already given up, which means that I'm now the 5th out of 6 players. It's just I'm having to even burn my boost at all times to even just catch up to them, which is weird. Not exactly sure what this ice thing does. Oh, what the hell? I used the ice thing and my ship just started turning left. I don't know what the hell that did. That was a waste of a power-up. I guess it was because I used it while I was turning. Maybe it freezes your ship. No idea. There's also an armor indicator, as you can see at the very top middle. I've never worn that out, so I don't know what happens if you do. Looks like we picked up some kind of a missile. There is definitely something wrong. I think I'm experiencing a little bit of lag. Once again, people, beta is going to be beta. Or alpha, even. Yeah, I'm definitely lagging a little bit here. I have to apologize for that, but yeah. I guess their servers maybe aren't up to snuff yet. Something that they maybe need to work on or whatever. But still, it's shaping up to be quite a unique title. I think we don't see these types of titles often on the PC, at least not often enough. I would definitely like to see more titles like this hit the PC more often because, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the whole futuristic racing genre. I think I'll just shoot this missile for fun. Actually, oh, I missed that. I wanted to pick up another missile just to see if you could select it, because it looks like you can actually select the weapon that you're using on top. Let me just have a look. See, yeah, you can use the D-pad to basically select which weapon you want to fire. Or maybe you can't. I was able to do it just now, but not anymore. And my power-ups just disappeared. I think I must have done something wrong. I'm not exactly sure what. Anyways, I finished the race in 5th, and in a pretty bad way because everybody else pretty much beat me to the punch. Like I said, I haven't gotten enough practice with the title just yet to really do well on a race. But still, it's shaping up to be a decent title, and I can't wait to see what else the studio comes up with for the game. I want to see obviously more tracks, more ships. I definitely want to see an overhaul on that UI because it's very confusing at the moment. At least that's the way I feel. Do we have to wait for the other player before we can actually leave the game? Yeah, we did. We have to wait until everyone finishes the track. Interesting. When your racer explodes, pickups get removed. Anyways, this is pretty much what Quantum Rush is at the moment. Like I said, I've left a lot of feedback already in this video for the developers. And like I've told you guys, bear in mind, alpha version, do not overly criticize it. But do leave your feedback because I'm going to be sending this video over to the developers so that they can have a look at it. And so leave your feedback below on stuff that you would like to see like implemented into the game. Your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff, always important to my first impressions videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.